It is no secret that if Māori is the basis of your social media feed, of your algorithm, it is very noisy. It is very dramatic at the moment. There's lots of stuff going on. And for people that follow any of my pages, they don't want any of that. They don't want any of that. They don't want the drama. They want learning. They want knowledge. They want insights. They want growth. So if you're one of those people, I've got 3 tips for you if you're sort of navigating that space of the drama. And number 1 is get rid of it, right? I've told my students for a long time, you got to stay off social media while you're trying to learn. If you're doing a course, stick to the course. If you've got a course book, if you've got an educational book, stick to the book. If you're doing a video course, stick to the videos. I took a huge part of my online learning platform off Facebook groups many years ago because I was getting feedback from people saying that it's a really user-friendly platform, but it's difficult when I log on to Facebook because I'm bombarded with all the Facebook scroll and all the other stuff that's coming up, and it's distracting me from learning. So you've got to cut the distractions, and all that noise that's out there at the moment, that is a huge distraction. So pick the resource that you're working with and focus just on that. Number 2 is contextual learning. You've got to make the learning process contextual to you. It's very difficult to learn something, even though it might be cultural, even though it might be language related, if it's not related to you as a person. It's much easier for me to learn something that's related to parenting and parenthood because I'm a parent, right? It'd be much harder for me to learn something that's maybe about a topic that I'm not involved in, that I don't really have an interest in, even though it does have a cultural layer or it has a language layer to it. It's got to be contextual to you. Parenthood topics for parents, teenager topics for teenagers, particular work topics, mahi topics for the line of work that you do, the industry that you're in. So that's number 2. And number 3, you've got to walk backwards through this learning process. You've got to walk in the direction you want to go, but you've got to keep looking backwards. You've probably heard of this concept before. You might have heard of it described as, we don't rise to the level of our goals. We don't rise to the level of our aspirations. We fall to the level of our systems. And I would argue that you learning and what you have learned, what you have attained, forms that system that you can always fall back to. And the best way to fall back, the best way to realize and recognize how far you've actually come is to swivel your head, look backwards at what you've done, look backwards at what you've achieved, and then through that process you can realize, well, I've actually come a long, long way. So there's my 3 tips to stay away from the drama, stay away from the noise, and to continue your learning process.